Hello everyone, myself Saraswati. I will be handling management and entrepreneurship for IT industry. So in the last few sessions you have seen that Dr. Deepu Singh has handled the first chapter called as introduction. So I will be continuing now with the second chapter, that is planning. So this particular chapter has 4 different topics: nature of planning, importance of planning, types of plans and steps in planning. So let us have a look into each one of them in detail. So first of all, I will be teaching you what is the nature of planning. So in order to know about the nature of planning, first of all, you need to know what is the definition of planning. That is, what is planning? It is nothing but, or it is defined as deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who is to do it. So planning is defined as deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do, and who is to do it. That is, what to do, that is, organization is the one who is going to set the goals. So what to do, first and foremost is setting the goal of the organization. So how to do it? So what is the procedure that need to be followed in order to achieve the goal of the organization? When it needs to get started, and who are all the people who are going to involve in the task, and who are all the people who are involved in completing the task, or who is going to help to reach the goal, right? So this is the basic definition of planning. It is the beginning of process of management. It is the beginning of process of management. So it is the continuous intellectual process where the manager has to think before acting. So here, once the plan has been made by the manager of the organization, he has to continuously check how his plan is going on both within the organization and outside the organization. If any changes are needed, he should be in a position to do the correctness in his plan. So plans has to be flexible to make the changes, and these changes should be adopted with undue cost. So let us have a look into where and all the flexibility of plans is needed. So flexibility of plans is required in technology. It is also needed in marketing. It is needed in finance. It is needed in personnel, and it is also needed in organizational structure. So what is this flexibility in technology? Flexibility in technology, any organization has to be flexible in changing its product mix in order to satisfy the customer. So let us take one simple example, that in recent days we have seen that a man called as Gupta, so he decided to build the statue of his dead wife for their housewarming ceremony. In that particular situation, he communicated with the sculptor, and the sculptor is suggested with what are all the materials that they usually use in order to make the statue. So wax, rubber along with silicone material. So if the statue has been made with the help of wax, so then the maintenance will be very high. So henceforth they have decided to import the silicone product from abroad and started building up the statue. It looks so realistic that we cannot feel that it is a statue, rather than it is going to give a look like normal human being like us, right? So that is how the flexibility in technology is needed by any of the organization. When we look into the marketing, right? So marketing, flexibility in marketing is very much essential. So if the company is going to sell its product or provide the service in one particular location, it has to have the capability to shift its location from one position or one geographical area to another geographical area. So flexibility in finance. So when the organization is in need of any additional amount, so it should be in a position so that it has to raise the funds to run the organization and also complete the planned task. So personnel. Organization has to have the flexibility in personnel, that is, it has to have the flexibility to change a person from one job to another job. Let us assume or take an example where a company is going to be in 3-5 different projects. So let me call it as project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4 and project 5. So n number of peoples are allocated with different projects. So let us assume that a person who is working in this particular project is going to be shifted to project number 5 because of various reasons. So whatever the skills and the efficiency or the knowledge which is required for the project 5, so might be available in any of the person or employee who is working in project 1. So henceforth he or she has been allocated with both project 1 and project 5, or they may be shifted from project 1 to project 5. This kind of flexibility should be there in any of the organization. Then the last one is organizational structure. So here any organization is going to make use of two different structures. One is called as horizontal structure, another one is called as vertical structure. So what is the difference between the horizontal and vertical structure? So in the horizontal structure, so we are going to call it as a flat structure. Flat structure where it is going to have a management followed by the team members or the team leaders followed by the employees who will be working in the teams. So here the organization which is going to follow the vertical structure is going to have top level management, middle level management and lower level management. So here top level management, middle level management and lower level management is the thing which will be used under vertical, right? So here top level management, lower level management and middle level management and lower level management. So here when we are going to think about the vertical manager, so who are all the people who will be in the top level management? So they are nothing but the CEOs of the organization or the president of the organization or the owner of the organization will be called as the top level management. So middle level management includes the managers or the supervisors. So lower level managements are nothing but the employees. So here CEO or president or owner of the organization, he is going to just specify the goal of the organization, and they are going to give out the procedure that needs to be followed in order to reach that particular goal. So this will be informed to the middle level management. So in turn the managers or the supervisors are going to communicate it with the to the employees, right? So if it is not possible for the employees to complete the given task within the given deadline, so then whatever the problems they might be having, they are going to inform it to the middle level management, who in turn is going to inform the top level management. So this is how the hierarchy is going to be followed in vertical structure. When it comes to horizontal, so there will be a management. So under the management there is a team where we are going to call it as a manager or the supervisor. Under them employees will be there, right? So here the management is going to set the goal. So whatever the goal the management has been set, so it is going to be intimated to the employees via the middlemen called as managers and the supervisors. So here employees is going to have full flexibility by making use of any kind of knowledge, any kind of procedure they can make use of in order to complete the given task. So here it is going to improve the morale as well as the efficiency of the employees in horizontal structure. So no matter any organization which is using either horizontal or vertical structure, it has to have the flexibility to switch between horizontal and vertical structure, right? So this is all about the nature of planning. So let us move on to the next topic called as importance of planning. So no matter whether it is a big organization or small organization, whether it is a private organization or a government organization, so whether it is a profit makeable business organization or non-profit makeable business organization, planning is going to play a very important role. So the importance of planning are minimizes risk and uncertainties. So today organization has to exist and survive or function in the environment which is changing with technology, political issues or environment, right? So planning is going to be done for the future where future is uncertain. So when the planning has been done, keeping in mind what are the risks the organization is going to face in future, so it naturally is going to minimize the risk and uncertainties. Example, so in future, right, so there may be some kind of accidents which may happen within the organization, or burglary can happen, or some kind of a fire may get in the organization itself. So they are going to take up the precautionary measures, right, in order to overcome all those risks and uncertainties. Henceforth, it is going to minimize the risk and uncertainty. So if we want to take up one more example, right, so if any organization wants to fix the sales tax, then the marketing and sales department has to do the survey in order to check out what are the other organization or which are the other organization which are in the market and what is their sales, how are they going to make profit, right? Everything needs to be surveyed by them. So henceforth it is possible for them to fix up the tax for the sales which they are going to make. Then the next one is leads to success. So planning does not lead to success, but proper systematic planning definitely leads to success. So once whatever the things that needs to be done has been planned well in advance, so if it is going to be carried out, right, so there will not be any confusions which is going to arise and the things is going to happen as planned. So henceforth it definitely leads to success. A simple example is if we are going to plan to go out for 5 days, right, so we will be knowing or we are going to plan well in advance who are all is going to join with us and how many days we are going to have outside, that is whatever the trip we have organized, and where and all we are going. So in each day where and all we are going to stay and so on. So if everything has been planned well, so we can go to the trip and come back safely, right? So this is going to lead to success. Next is facilitates focus on organizational goals. So the goals will be set by the organization. So when the goal has been set by organization, that particular goal is going to be divided into departmental tasks. So each and every employee, no matter which particular department they belong to, so they are going to coordinate with each other and they are going to successfully achieve the goals set by the organization. Then next, facilitates control. So here planning is going to serve as a standard in order to measure the performance or in order to evaluate the performance. So the standard needs to be fixed up. So then what is controlling? So controlling is nothing but comparison between the actual output and the planned output. So controlling is nothing but comparison between the actual output and the planned output. So here the control manager has to plan the output what they want to have, right? So here the control manager has to make a comparison between the actual output and the planned output. If there is any deviation found between these two, necessary action needs to be taken by the control manager in order to do the correctness so that they are going to reach the planned output. If the control manager, right, if the control manager has not planned the output at all, then so he must be in a position in order to check whether whatever the output, actual output they have obtained is sufficient or not. So here there is no base in order to compare whatever the actual output they are having with, right? So for example, let us assume that a company has planned, right, so to manufacture 100 units of washing machine in 1 week, but it is able to manufacture only 80 units of washing machine. So then here the control manager has to take action in order to reach the actual output to the planned output in the next coming week. So if the planned output is not at all done by the control manager, then he has to think whether whatever the actual output, that is manufacturing 80 units of washing machine, is sufficient to make the sales. So here there will not be any base, means they are not having any base to make the comparison, right? So this is how the control, it is going to, that is planning is going to facilitate the control. And the last one is trains executive. So as I said earlier, the vertical structure is going to make use of top level management, middle level management and lower level management. So if the top level management decides to make a profit or to increase their profit by 10%, so then they have to have a knowledge whether they need to introduce some more product, right? So whether they need to expand their business to other locations or regions, or do they need to take up a new business, right? So all these things they have to worry about, right? So they are going to consult some expert in order to get the idea about all these things. So henceforth they are going to gain some kind of knowledge. So when it comes to middle level management, so here middle level management are nothing but the managers and the supervisors. So they are going to lead the teams of employees. In order to lead the teams of employees, they need to have a leadership quality, right? So this leadership quality is going to play a very important role. And also, whenever the task has been assigned by the organization, so different types of skills and knowledge is going to be very much essential to complete the given task. In that particular situation, they need to get trained before they are going to train the lower level employees, right? So the lower level employees is going to have the knowledge or the education they need to have in order to join the organization and do some project, right? So but in order to continue with more number of projects, they have to learn some additional skills and knowledge. They should be ready in order to learn all those things, required skills and knowledge, right? So henceforth, so some kind of training is going to be developed by each level of management. So here when they are doing that, right, so the management is going to, or the top level management is going to set the goal. So that goal is going to be divided into different departments, and henceforth different departments in the organization like finance department, personnel department, likewise marketing department, sales department, every department has to coordinate with each other in order to complete the task given by the top level management. So in this way, they are all going to concentrate in achieving the goal of the organization rather than achieving their personal goals, right? So this is about the importance of planning. So let us move on to the next topic, that is types of plans. So types of plans are broadly classified into strategic planning and tactical planning. And standing and single use plan is the second type. So let us have a look into the first type, strategic planning versus tactical planning. So strategic planning is the one which is done by the top level management. So here tactical planning is the one which is done by the lower level management. So whatever the plan that has been done by the top level management, so they are done for longer period of time. So here they are going to do the plan for short term. So here the top level management is going to concentrate on the major goals and policies. And also they are the one who is going to allocate the required resources in order to carry out the task set by the organization or top level management, right? So these are the people who is going to decide so how the allocated resources can be used. So here they generally forecast policies, political and environment, and are more uncertain. So when it comes to the tactical planning, so they are generally based on past performance, and are less uncertain. So here it is not detailed as they are not going to involve in day-to-day operations. Here it is more detailed as they are involved in day-to-day operation. So these are the differences between the strategic planning and tactical planning. So strategic planning will be done at the top level or by the top level management, who are nothing but the CEOs of the company, owner of the company, or the president of the company. So here tactical planning will be made by the lower level management, usually the employees. So here whatever the top level management plan has been made, it is for longer period of time, say for example 2 to 5 years. So here short term plan, so maybe for less than or within a month or for 1 month we can say. So here strategic planning is going to focus on the major goals that they want to achieve and the policies they have to follow in the organization, and whatever the resources which is needed in order to reach the task set by the organization, they are going to allocate the resources like men, materials, machines and so on. So here the lower level management is going to make use of how the allocated resources can be utilized. So they are going to think about the utilization of the resources allocated by the top level management. So here the top level management are going to foresee about the policies, political issues, environment, and all of them are uncertain because it is going to be changed from one particular period of time to another particular period of time. So here they are going to generally look at the performance of the past organization, means past performance of the organization, and hence they are less uncertain. So here since they are not going to deal with day-to-day operations, so they are having less details about how the day-to-day operations is going on, right? So here under the tactical planning, so they have more number of details as they are going to communicate with the different departments. They will be knowing how many units they are going to do the production in each day, and for that what are all the resources they are using and all. So henceforth it is more detailed and are involved in day-to-day operations. So let us have a look into the next one, that is the single use plan and standing plan. So based on the frequency of use, the types of plans, one more types of plans includes single use plan and standing plan. So as the name itself says, single use plan is nothing but the plan which is made in order to use for only one time. So if it has been used one time, so it cannot be used again. For example, budget is going to be fixed in any of the organization for one whole year only one time. So this budget is not going to be the same in the next year. So this is one simple example we can consider. Another simple example is single day sales, right? So if the organization wants to give its customer a big discount, right? So they can choose of advertising single day sales. So this cannot be repeated again and again, right? So in contrast, standing plan is nothing but plan is going to be made once and it can be continued many number of times with slight modification or without modification also, right? So here rules and regulations or the policies, right, which is going to be set by the organization, right. So that can be used many times, right, with slight modifications or without modifications. So I will stop at this point of time, and I will be continuing with one more topic, that is steps in planning, in the next session. Thank you.